Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's final video, day 10 will take us to the 19th of July. And we'll be able to extend up beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensemble, because they run to around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video, next 4 weeks. Gets us into the beginning of August. And of course, our focus on this is going to be very much towards hot weather. Potentially record-breaking hot weather by next weekend. It's not a done deal, though. I'm going to talk you through all the data in a moment. So just like the first video today was a 6 a.m. upload. We've also released the ECM WF 6 weeks look ahead. And if that wasn't enough, weekend forecast as well. So please check out all the videos. Please like, share, subscribe on Beats. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. We're grinding to 14,000 subscribers. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be fantastic. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right. All of that done. Let's start with central temperature then. So CT is currently standing at a provisional 15.6, which is 0.4 of a degree below average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 8th of July. So actually the first week of July has come out a little bit below average, to be honest. And this is going to rise quickly though now. So I reckon within like the week, this time next week, we'll probably see this into the 17s, but we should wait and see about that. Of course, we're going even higher than that if we pull off this extreme hot weather next weekend. But certainly CT is on its way up now after quite a coolish though first week of the month. Right, so have a look at some CT data through the years for July. This is CT page at UK Met, going all the way back to 1659, of course, the longest and most reliable temperature record anywhere on Earth. So as you come down through the decades of the centuries, we get down to our last year, the final year here is 2022. This is where the CT for July will be placed. So how's July been shaping up over the past years? Well, it's been very warm, tend to be very warm, very reliable summer month. Actually, last year we came out with like pretty warm, or a very warm July at 17.8. If you get into the 17s, you're having a very warm month. Get into the 18s, you're having a very hot month. Get into the 19s, you're having an extreme hot month. So we did get into the 19s in 2018, actually. 19.3, very, very hot July, that one. The record-breaking July, though, hottest July on record, and hottest month on record, actually, is 2006, which came out at 19.8. So nearly 20 degrees CT month. That was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely remarkable. As well as that, we've also got a look at 2013. So that one came out with July CT of 18.5. That was a very hot month as well. We've also got 1994, 1995 up here, 18.0, 18.5. Of course, 1995 part of a very hot and dry summer. 1983 as well has a 19 Celsius CT month. The very first ever 19 Celsius CT month actually was in July 1983. At 19.4. And in between them, we've had lots of warm Julys as well, very warm July. So we've got 2010, for example, at 17.2. We've got 2014 at 17.9, almost an 18 Celsius CT month. We've got 2016 at 17.0. We've got 2019 at 17.6. So that contains the hottest day recorded, of course. And then we've got last year, as I say, at 17.8. So July has been a very, very, very reliable summer month over the past years and decades. Whilst August has tended to be, certainly since 2003, August has tended to be a rather less reliable summer month. July has tended to be a very, very reliable summer month. Not every single time. Now, occasionally we do get a poorer July, such as 2015, for example, which only has a CT of 16.0. 2020 only has a July CT of 15.8. It was August that was a hot month in the summer of 2020. July was quite cool till the very end of it. So not every time we get a hot July, but to be honest, July has become the most reliable of the 3 summer months over the past few decades. What about the daddy of hot summers? The daddy. Here it is, 1976. That had a July CT of 18.5 within, again, a very remarkably hot summer. There has been a little bit of correcting going on in the latest version of the CT from UK. So June 1976 was famously the only June, or June 1976 was famously the only June to have a 17 Celsius CT. That's been corrected by, for some reason, by 0.1 of a degree down to 16.9. So there's been some little tweaks that's been going on with the latest version of the CT page that came out. Also, interestingly, 2004, we're off on a tangent with this, I have got to get on in a moment, and I will get on, but 2014, interestingly, has retrospectively been made an 11 Celsius CT year. So, until a few weeks ago, we hadn't thought we'd ever had an 11 Celsius CT year, but it turns out that actually we did, and it was back in 2014. Excuse me, and that's been done, as I say, in retrospect. What about cold July? So I talked about all the warm and hot Julys. What about the cold ones? So, we have had some poorer Julys over the past years, but our last notably very cold July was in 1988 with a CT there of 14.6. If you're under 15 degrees, you're having a very, very cool July indeed. What about the dreaded summer 2007? That had a July CT of 15.3, pretty bad, to be honest. And 2012, of course, had a July CT of 15.6. That was another really, really poor July. Of course, 2007 was notably wet in July as well. If we go back into the 1800s, we see that actually there are examples where we come in under 14 degrees actually with some of these Julys back into the 800s. For example, 1840, 1841, both coming out at 13.8. Having said that, even back then, we used to get our fair share of hot Julys. They just didn't occur as regularly as they do now. So, for example, we have 1818 here that has a July CT of 18.2. And, of course, we've got 1808 as well, which possibly included, on the 14th of July, 1808, possibly included the only time that we've gone over 40 degrees with our temperatures. That may change next weekend, but up to this point, we have never recorded temperatures of 40 degrees, except possibly in July 1808. Overall, July 1808 has a CT of 18.4. If you go right the way back to the very beginning of the CT, really, we do find that we have 18 Celsius CT. Much for example, 16.6. We've got July there at 18.0. Remember, back then, it's just a snapshot, really. But it does tell us that would have been like a hot July, possibly, up there with the sort of heat that we get these days. So that's a very warm summer as well. June 15.0, July 17.0, August 18.0, culminating with the Great Fire of London, of course, after a very hot and dry 3 months. So it just goes to show that even back then we had our fair share of hot months, but of course they were less common than now. So now that those sort of very hot months have become more common, especially in July, less so in August, but especially in July, those very hot months have become more common. And the cold months, of course, there are big changes with the cold months, because back then, in that era, we used to get these months that were sub-zero, and these winters were absolutely freezing cold, and we do not get those now. We're only very, very rare. So the cold months have become much rare. Of course, we'll have to, someone would say in the comments, we did get 2010, so we did get the December to remember there, which was an extraordinarily cold month. But generally, the cold months have become much less common, much less frequent. The hot months have become much more common and much more frequent, and that's the change that we've gone through over the past 50 years in particular. Right, well, that's CT Saturday done. I've been off on a tangent with that. I hope you found it interesting and informative. We'll get on and do some forecasting now. So, these are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensemble. Next couple of weeks, the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Preston. We're starting off above average with the upper air temperature at the moment. You'll see the upper air temperatures lowering, dropping, going a little bit below average as we go into the middle part of the week, but then very quickly spiking back up again. By next weekend, could become very hot, and then very quickly, though, dropping down again. So, as we've been saying in videos, since 2015, these heat spikes have been very regular, in modern summers, and looks like we'll have another one of those coming up next weekend. You'll notice the thick green line, which is the GFS 6-hour operation run, takes off and actually reaches 20 degrees at 858 days, very hot. And remember, that is for Preston in the north of England. Precipitation-wise, there's going to be lots of dry weather over the next week to 10 days, perhaps a little bit more unsettled into the third week of July. If we have a look at some a bit further south, let's try Northampton. There we can see it's a similar story, but the heat potential for next weekend is much more extreme. So again, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton, starting off above average at the moment. A little bit of a drop in the temperature coming up about the middle part of the week, and then taking the temperature up, spiking the temperature up by the end of the week into next weekend. How high do we spike that temperature? Look what happens with the operational run. It's clearly one of the hottest ensemble members, and it absolutely spikes up to like 24 or 25 degrees. 850 HPA, that is extraordinary. You know, that's absolutely extraordinary. We have got that run just there, but goes off the scale though. So there is one ensemble member that goes even hotter on the operation run. Several of these ensemble members, though, are getting close to 20 degrees, 850 HPA, which is absolutely remarkable as well. Again, it is very brief though. You'll notice, but you know, it's this period just here, like around 16th, 17th of July, but by sort of the 21st of July, we're back down here again. Very close to average, or possibly even going a little bit below. So it is very typical of what I have in the summer since 2015, with these heat spikes, these heat surges up the western side of Europe, lasting 1 to 2 days, then swept away by Atlantic winds, tending not to be that thundery as well. This is a bit of a difference from the old Spanish plumes. The Spanish plumes were the difference between the heat spikes that we get now and the Spanish plumes that we had, you know, in days gone by, were that Spanish plumes tended not to be as extreme with the temperature. Might get temperatures to below mid-30s, but not much higher than that. Tends to last a little bit longer though, 3 hot days and a thunderstorm, and then tends to be much more thundery with the breakdown. So the differences are interesting. Precipitation-wise, look how dry it's going to be for Northampton as well over the next week, 10 days. Possibly going a little bit more unsettled through the third week of July. That's a long way off. Let's just look at Paris. Mark ensemble graph of Paris with the operational run not all that far away from 30 degrees. 850 HPA, which is just absolutely extraordinary. Would be a sort of thing you'd expect to see for like southern Spain or something. Amazing, incredible. Temperature anomalies from the 9th, 17th of July are hotter than average, significantly and substantially so for the western part of Europe. Excuse me, everyone. Precipitation anomalies from 9th, 17th of July are significantly drier than normal. The latest wind from map from Earth North School next shows that high pressure is dominating the weather. Right, we better go through some chart data then. So here we go. You're going to see some remarkable charts in a mo. Check this out, everyone. Right, starting off with UK Met Euro. High pressure will be dominating the weather on Tuesday, looking very warm to hot in the south. Middle of next week turns a little bit cooler. And then by this time next week, which is Saturday 16th of July, reaching to the south, heat trying to push northwards. Looking at the upper air temperature, there's a heat dome that's sitting across France, Spain, Portugal that is attempting to move northwards. Does that get northwards? As we go through the weekend of 16th, 17th of July, we stop there with UK Met Euro at midnight. Check out icon. So again, region of high pressure into the south on Tuesday will bring off warm weather. Into the middle of the week, temperatures will lower a little bit. And then end of week into next weekend, the high pressure slips eastwards, the thundery low begins to form around Biscay, and up comes that southerly wind. Look at the upper air temperatures midday Saturday. Look at that. Got the plus 20 Celsius ice firm getting into the far southwest of the country. Plus 25 Celsius ice firm has made it into northern parts of France. Again, this is an extraordinary sort of heat dome, amount of heat we've got here across the western part of Europe. That looks poised to bring that extreme heat into the country. I have to say, if we could go on another 24 hours, we can't. But if we could go on another 24 hours with Icon, that does look poised to start pulling up that extreme hot air. Right, GFS midnight run. Looks like that again. High pressure in the south will bring loads of warm and dry weather with it around Tuesday. A little bit of a lowering in the temperature in the middle part of the week, and the high pressure reforms and the ridge slips east, starts to bring up this hotter air from the south as we go through next weekend. We've got the hotter air pushing up from the south, plus 20 Celsius ice firm with the GFS midnight run is getting into the southern half of the country, but does not get much further north of that. That's midnight on Sunday. Again, plus 20 Celsius ice firm is into the southeast. That could well get the temperature into the upper 30 Celsius. I don't know if that will get the temperature to 40 degrees, but we'll probably get the temperature into the upper 30 Celsius in the southeast corner. So we're probably looking at temperatures around 37 or 38 degrees. Again, we find that that heat is still there through Sunday into Monday in the extreme south, but cooler air is starting to infiltrate in from the north, and as we go through Monday to Tuesday, and we see the upper air temperatures lowering, so begins to cool down, especially in the northern half of the country. It takes a while to cool things down in the south. We finish up with GFS midnight run, actually looking quite unsettled, but of course that's a very long way off. Now you think that's extreme? Check this out. This is the GFS 6Z. So again, we've got high pressure reaching through the south on Tuesday, bringing loads of dry, warm to hot weather. A little bit cooler through the middle part of the week as we bring down more of a northwesterly type influence. And then Friday into Saturday, that high pressure starts to slip eastwards the centre, moves towards Germany. That begins to allow the heat that's already surging up the western side of Europe from Spain to France to begin to move our way. There's the upper air temperatures at 6 a.m. on Saturday next week, plus 20 Celsius ice firm, just making it into the far southwest of the country, and then that heat surges northwards as we go through Saturday into Sunday. So this is how the upper air temperatures look at 6 a.m. on Sunday. This is extraordinary, it's remarkable, it's record breaking. We've got the plus 20 Celsius ice firm into the north of England, plus 25 Celsius ice firm is coming into southern parts of England, leading to an extraordinarily hot day on Sunday, 17th of July. That's how we're looking at 6 p.m. It looks like there's a bit of a fungy low trying to develop there in the east, but look at those upper air temperatures. I mean, in over 20 years of model watching, I've never seen anything like this really, but plus 25 Celsius ice firm is up to the Midlands to East Anglia. It's even hotter than that, you know, to the southeast of the country. Absolutely amazing. What are the thickness lines looking like? We can have a look at those, I suppose, see how they're looking. So we've got the 582 thickness line there into the southeast country. You only see that over North Africa and the Mediterranean in the tropical waters of the Atlantic. It would be just an extraordinary day, say 17th of July, if that came off. Bear in mind, on the ensemble graph, let's go back to it, you know, it's one of the hottest members. It's not all that well supported by the GFS ensemble to become that extreme, but there are several other ensemble members that do go in that kind of direction. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if this comes off, it's going to break records left, right, and centre. Now we go beyond that. So I'm going to start doing this by hand, haven't I? So you go beyond that, and by Monday the 18th, we begin to move that heat dome away to the east, and some slightly cooler air is starting to hail in from the North Atlantic. The upper air temperature, big temperature contrast across the country by Monday, 6 a.m. Monday. It's extraordinarily hot in the southeast, really rather cool across the northern part of Scotland. If you don't like heat and this comes off, then head to somewhere like Lerwick or Stornoway, and you'll be okay. By Tuesday 19th, we're all going into like a cooler run of northwesterly winds from off the Atlantic. The upper air temperature of that extreme heat is gradually being shunted away to the east by these cooler temperatures jetting in from the north. Probably not much thunder involved with this. It's probably a relatively dry breakdown. And then look at that, by the time we get through to the 20th of July, we're into like a northerly flow. We're probably bringing some showers into the north and the east, but mainly it's a cool down. Look at the upper air temperatures, actually below average by that point. All of the heat has been shoved off into the east of Europe. We've actually gone cooler than average by Wednesday, 20th of July. So from record breaking heat on Sunday the 17th to cooler than average temperatures by Wednesday 20th of July. Again, very typical of like the modern summer, where we have these real extremes from heat to relatively coolish sort of temperatures. Back 21st of July, again looking rather cool and showery. Beyond that, perhaps going a bit more unsettled as we head towards the last week of July, because that is a really, really long way out. Let's have a temperature forecast look based on that GFS 6 everyone. It's going to be a shady video, by the way, but I think it's worth it with these sort of charts. So this is how the temperature looks at 3 a.m. on Sunday. Really warm overnight, Saturday to Sunday, there, 16th, 17th of July. Temperatures in the south not falling below 20 degrees. Now that is the afternoon temperature, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday the 17th of July. You will not see a more extreme temperature forecast, I don't think, for a very, very long time, though we keep saying this every year. But look at that. We've got 40 degrees through the M4 corridor, 40, 41. Go further north, East Anglia, 43 degrees there. That is like 109 Fahrenheit. This isn't going to come. I can't believe this will come off. If this comes off, you know, I just don't know what I'll say, really. But these are just an absolutely extraordinary temperature forecast. Go down to northern France. We've actually got 45 to 46 degrees across the northern part of France. Again, I find it hard to believe this is going to come off, but we are seeing the GFS playing around with this, you know. And it's getting a little bit close as well. Like 17th of July is when we was seeing the hints a few days ago. It's still there, albeit this is only one GFS run. So I really don't know what to make of it. Please let me know in the comments what you think we should make of all this, everyone. But I mean, these temperatures are extraordinary. Just extraordinary. 40 to 43 degrees there across the eastern and southern and southeastern part of the country. Bear in mind, again, if you don't like the hot weather, go north if this does come off, because we're only up to 12 to 15 degrees there, and like 13 to 15 degrees there. So Stornoway, Lerwick, Shetland, Orkney, they're the places to be if you don't like this extreme sort of heat that's being projected there. But let's wait and see. It might not come up. I just can't believe that we would get the temperature that high. But the GFS does keep consistently showing it. So we're just going to have to wait and see. If you're enjoying this video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone. Do that. We are grinding to 14,000 subscribers. So, you know, please tell friends and family to subscribe, get us to 14k. And I just thank you all so very much for all of the support over all of the years. Right, the GM looks like that again. Hot on Tuesday. A little bit cooler for Wednesday and Thursday. What happens with the heat next weekend doesn't come off. Look at that. GM says no. The GM says no. No heat surge next weekend. The hottest we get is plus 15 Celsius iceberg in the south, plus 20 Celsius iceberg is restricted to northern France, and the plus 25 Celsius iceberg is restricted to central and southern parts of France. And very quickly, by the 18th of July, we're going into a cool push of winds from the northwest and looking quite cool there. So no heat surge from the GEM, from the GEM. And then what about the ECMWF? Let's have a look at that one. Again, looks relatively hot on Tuesday, particularly so myself, a little bit cooler around the middle part of the week, and then get to next weekend. And yes, we are with the ECM seeing signs of that heat pushing northwards, perhaps not quite to the same extent and severity as the GFS, but even so, getting plus 25 Celsius iceberg up to East Anglia and the Midlands anyway, on Sunday. That heat gradually then through the Empire next week fades away as wind turns into the northwest. Still with high pressure domination, but we pull in some cooler winds from the north. So not much of a thundery breakdown. High pressure keeps it mostly dry there. Just the heat gets shunted away to the east with the ECM. The ECM might be hinting at a very, very hot day, though, for Sunday, 17th of July. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. Again, loads and loads and loads of dry weather. What rain there is going to be will be mostly in the north and the northwest. Perhaps a bit showery for England and Wales as we get through to day 10 Although that's a long way off, of course. This is the option on the table within the ECM ensemble today for 192 hours, which is the 17th of July, which could be a record-breaking hot day if we believe the 6 GFS. So all options of the ECM ensembles are 51 out, 51 showing low pressure way to the north, high pressure just to the south, southeast, and allowing that heat to push northwards. As yet today 10, which is going to be, let's find it, there it is, it's going to be the 19th of July. Again, I have 51 out, 51 on top of the ECM ensembles, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and rather flatter and more westerly there, start to cool things down. And in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Go to the 24th, as July 23 members of the ECM ensembles then have low pressure to the north and bring in cooler winds from west. 17 looking very unsettled and distinctly cool, with low pressure over to the east of the country in combination with the middle Atlantic ridge up to Greenland. That will pull wind into the north, and the low pressure will bring rain too. And then 11 members of the ECM ensembles, much more anticyclonic high pressure regime from Scandinavia to from the anti-Scandinavia. Low pressures push away up here. That will be a warm, dry option. Probably not as hot as it could be in around a week's time, but probably still a continuation of relatively warm and dry weather. The last thing we're going to look at CFSB2. So these are 500 millibar high. What a video it's been epic. This epic. Hasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate there will be people who are very concerned about the temperature forecasts and whatnot, though. So, we have to think about them as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. Right, Shepherds reaching last week, a 500 millibar high thermometer breakdown into week periods. The first week period section from 15th of July, becoming week with high pressure over top of the country, going to be mainly dry and hot. Week 2 will be 16th, 22nd of July, high pressure slips south a little bit. Low pressure into Scandinavia, bringing something just a little bit fresher and cooler in from off the Atlantic, but still a lot of dry weather over that area of high pressure. Week 3, it'll be 23rd, 29th of July, high pressure pulls further away from us into the Atlantic, low pressure around Greenland, Iceland. Winds going in to the northwest a little bit cooler and more showery again. And then week 4 will be the 30th of July to the 5th of August. Low pressure around Greenland, Iceland, high pressure in the Atlantic. Winds in from the west. Certainly not much of a heat wave dealing with that. Could be quite a coolish start to August. But of course, we will wait and see about that. And well, look, so if you've enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. If everyone who subscribes brings a friend, we're going to get to 14,000 subscribers so much more quickly. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. We're not all that far away from a 13.9k as well, by the way. So probably got to put on around another 35 subscribers, I think, now. So we're getting ever closer to 13.9k. Please give us a sub. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, how long's the video been? I bet it's been a long one. Nearly 30 minutes. Still, it's worth it, I think, for everything that's going on. Been epic. Right, but that's it for today's video. So tomorrow we'll start at 6 AM upload. We're going to have a 10 to 14 day as well. And we'll be live streaming at 8 PM. I need to say 6 PM. Of course, we've changed the live stream time to 8 PM a little bit later on. So I shall see you live at 8 PM tomorrow for our live show. I think it'll be quite an interesting one. No doubt we'll do some long range, maybe with Patal Peng. I don't know if his analogs are up yet, but we'll do some long range anyway. And of course, we'll have a look at the 12s there, see what's going on with the heat spike and whatnot. And we'll just hang out for an hour. It'll be nice and chill. So I shall see you live at 8. But before then, tomorrow we will have a 6 AM upload and a 10 to 14 day too. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon and evening. And for this one, though, that's all for now. Whoops, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. See you soon.